Hi, this is my scrap for Month of Challenges 6. It's day 20, and the template today is been given to us by Sabrina's Creations. It's a pretty plain and simple template, so I might feel the need to spice it up a little bit. I'll be using the kit by Sabrina's Creations also. It's called Movie Time. You can see the papers and the elements. And then it's also a collab with Meg's Designs. And this is being filmed in Photoshop CC. Just thought I'd show you how the different templates can work together. So there's 5 photos on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and pull in my photos. And what I'm scrapping about today is a trip to the drive-in when my sister came to visit us out in New Hampshire. We went up to the Milford drive-in in New Hampshire, and I took some pictures, and I haven't scrapped them yet. So I thought it'd be kind of a fun one to do, especially with that Movie Time kit, which is super cute. And so this is my little guy, and no, we did not leave him sitting on the lawn chair for the whole movie. It sits about 2 or 3 inches off the ground anyway, but we just set him in the bumpo while we were getting pizza out and eating, and then we pulled him out of it, and we did sit right next to him, so may have not been the smartest idea, but he was safe. We were keeping an eye on him. So what I am doing now is just going ahead and moving the photos so that they are above the layer that I want to use. And right here I'm just going to go ahead and transform and make that smaller. You can't always see the keyboard shortcuts that I use, but on this particular one, what I'm using is I'm holding down my shift key as I alter the photo. You don't have to do that in Elements, but you do have to do that in CC if you don't want the photo to go all squampus. And I'll show you what I mean by squampus in just a second using this photo. So with this photo, you can see that if you just move it without holding that shift, it just kind of moves. And yeah, then your people look kind of funny and stretched out and things have a weird look. Sorry, so I just go ahead and I hold in that shift key as I move it around. And then I'm just hitting enter to confirm my changes. I'll drag that up so that you can actually see the picture. I like this picture because it was a dog-friendly drive-in, so we used to take our dog with us to go see the movies and hang out. And then we also would get pizza, and we'd get pizza right around the corner from the drive-in because, of course, the drive-in happened to be a good 45 minutes to an hour away from our house, depending on traffic. So we would leave early to get there, but it was always worth going. And you know, you really can't beat $20 for 2 adults, well, 3 adults in this case, because my sister was there, to go see 2 movies. It was a really good deal. I loved taking a photo of the sky because the sky was always just so pretty. There was nothing out there. There weren't a lot of lights out in that area. It was mostly farmland, so it was really easy to see the pretty, gorgeous skies. So here I'm just, and that one I actually held down Shift and Alt so that it would kind of drag down to the center. So I wanted it a little more centered and see how it looked as it got smaller there. Just adjusting the photo of my sister, and I'm going to shift it just slightly to match that photo angle. And I love how with that photo you can actually see the screen and you can see the old time poles that they used to use for the drive-in for sound, back when they used to have the little speakers that would hang onto your car window so that you could hear it. Now they don't. Now they just have the radio, the FM radio plays. So, I mean, it's nice because you can pick it up on your phone, or we just bought a little stereo system that works. So I brought this paper in to try it for the background, but it was just a little too busy. So I decided to go ahead and layer it, but you couldn't see it under the sunset photo, and I really wanted to capture that film strip. So I decided to put it on the other side. And then when I did that, I did make it smaller, and that's one of the things I love about Digi is I don't have to have a pattern in all the different sizes. It works perfectly okay if it's just one big pattern and I make it smaller. And I thought the smaller pattern worked better there, so it wasn't competing, and so you could really see those film strips. So I think I'm grabbing another piece of paper. It's just a plain gray paper. It's actually kind of hard to see on the background, but I did decide to go with a plain gray paper, And here I'm adding in a pink paper. And I liked the design on it, but it was too close to the sky, so you couldn't really see that there was a paper layered there. And I kind of wanted that dimension a little bit better. So I went with the blackish, grayish striped paper to layer down right underneath there so you could see it a little bit better. Then I decided to replace this title spot with some word art. I liked the At the Movies. So then I was going through my shadow styles. There was one by Fiddledy Designs and her Shadows Dressed Up that is a word art, and I really like the way that it looks. So I went ahead and used that, and then I'm changing my angle so it'll be 45 degrees. For this one I hit global, so that'll change any other layers that are already on my pager to the 45 degrees, but that's not necessary. You can leave them at whatever degrees you want them at. I don't know why I like 45, but I do. So maybe it's because the way this light hits my desk, it's a 45-degree angle, so I'm used to seeing that angle a lot. So I went ahead and I replaced that purple strip with another word strip. And when I went in to replace the circle, I decided I really liked the movie tickets instead. So I decided to pull the movie ticket in, which of course meant that I ended up shifting the word art around a little bit, just making it look. And with the movie ticket, I played with the shadows for a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes, just a couple seconds, I guess. But I was trying different ones to see how high I liked it to be. But I didn't want it too high because I do have that other word strip that's layered on top of it. And since that one's not a super high shadow, it would look kind of funny if I had a super high shadow on the back one when the other one's layered on top of it. So I think I decided to go with a fairly flat shadow, just a little bit up. And then I pulled the word art down just a little bit more so that it wasn't covering so you could really see the movie ticket sitting there. Then there's a bunch of fun different flares in this movie time kit. So I pulled out one, and I liked the yellow. I have some yellow over there in that word strip, so it wasn't too out of the ordinary. Like, I hate it when I add one color to my layouts and everything else is like 3 of the colors that are in the kit, and then I have one that's way out there just because I think it looks funny to me. I like it on other people's kits, or pages, but not mine. So I went ahead and did that. And then there's this really cute, let's see, I think I pulled a yellow flower in. Or not. I was looking through the kit for a couple of different things to pull in to use. There's some fun little word arts and some fun little flowers. I didn't look the kit through all the way before I started this layout because I kind of wanted it to be real time so it's not pre-planned or anything, because I was kind of curious to see how long it would take me with this simple layout to scrap. So I decided to pull the yellow flower in because it kind of added that extra yellow at the top, so it kind of leads your eye around the page with the yellow word art and then that yellow flare over there. So I've got kind of a triangle going on of the yellow. And then I think this is where I'm grabbing another piece of word art. I did originally try and record this live, but apparently I forgot to unmute my microphone. So you can't actually hear any of the fun little things I was saying as I did this layout. But let me know what you think, and if you like it and you like to hear it live, then maybe I will do a few more of these because it was kind of fun. So this flower I moved up. I decided I wanted it below the flare because I thought the flare would be a little bit heavier, and that's probably how I would have done it in real life, is put the little paper flower underneath. So I used a smaller shadow on it so that it looks like the flare is sitting up higher. And I just liked the little touch of color that it added, especially since it was kind of the same color as the sunset. So I added just a slight touch there. Move that flower. Had that flower up, and then I pulled it down, and then I moved it back up and decided, I like it closer to the top. But I decided I wanted one of those big, pretty pieces of word art that was in the kit. There's a lot of really fun ones in here, like cinema and tickets please and movie madness. And there was one that said movie premiere. I don't remember what movie we went to see. I just know we went to see a movie, and it was September, and in September they used to replay some of the older movies, or not older movies, but some of the movies from the whole season. So it really could have been anything that we went and saw. And I tried to look it up, but I can't find it. And I wish I'd written it down, but I apparently didn't. So I decided to use Mommy Ish's Just the Basics and add a sticker effect to this. So it kind of looked like a sticker underneath. You can see the white outline. And if you're looking at it on your screen, it's actually got a lot of really pretty texture going on with that sticker effect. So that's a fun little one to add. And then zooming in and looking at the different things that were sitting on the car. You can see my husband just pulled that stereo out of the box. We had a really hard time finding a stereo, especially one that would run on batteries. You wouldn't think they'd be as rare as they are, but I guess with the advent of iPods and everybody listening to music on their phones, they're a little bit harder to find. So it took us a couple of tries to find it and find one that we didn't want to pay an outrageous price for. That was the other trick about it. I was looking at it and I was like, well, it's about done, but for me, it was still just a little plain. I usually like to put a little more stuff on. So I decided to go ahead and add some paint to it. So I added both of the paints that were in the kit. And then what I did here is I just selected them both, and then I pushed down my Alt key until my arrow changed to a double arrow, which is duplicate. And then I just pulled it straight over. And now, because I was kind of hiding the part that I was showing on the other side, I just went ahead and I shifted it slightly, but I mostly just left it. If I was like moving it so that it would be exactly the same, I'd probably give a little rotate so that it didn't look like the paint had fallen exactly the same spot as it had on the other side. It's just one of the things that I like to change. And then I was replacing those stitches. And the stitches ended up above the flare and the flower, so I went ahead and pulled them down so they weren't sitting up so high, because they would not be on top of a flare. It's kind of hard to see until I delete the other stitch, which I just did. So there, I have the stitches. Then I have a couple of different stitch styles. I have one by Pink Reptile, I have one by Mommy-ish, I have one by Fiddle Dee Dee Designs, and I just kind of played with them for a few minutes, well, for a few seconds really, until I saw which one I liked better. And that honestly can just depend on what the stitch is sitting on top of, because sometimes I like it to have like a heavier shadow, sometimes I like it to have a really light shadow, and they're all a slightly different shadow. And that's just because of the way that the designer makes them. So I added that in, and then I need to add my journaling, but that's not something I can do while I talk. So I added my journaling after I stopped the camera. And then after I stopped the camera, I also decided to add in a stamped date to show what date this all took place. But other than that, this is my layout, and it's all done for our January month of challenges at the Lilypad Day 20. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and stay creative.